Silence your scrolling and lean in close, because what you're about to witness could rewrite your entire story. Welcome to Legacy Coins USA, where a simple 1974, 1995p, 1998p, or 2008p Kennedy half-dollar isn't just loose change. It's a trembling secret wrapped in copper and nickel. Look at the man on your screen, John F. Kennedy, and the mighty bald eagle clutching its sacred arrows under the spell of E pluribus unum. That eagle knows a hidden fortune, the kind of softly whispered, superimposed millions you've seen flashing across viral dreams. Tonight, we reveal if your coin carries a silver soul, a missing mint mark, or a ghostly doubling that turns 50 cents into a breathtaking life of freedom. Stay right here, take a soft breath, and discover if you're already holding the treasure the world has overlooked. Let's get started. First up, you're about to hear something that most people get completely wrong. That 1974 bicentennial half-dollar you mentioned? It sounds mysterious, powerful, maybe even worth millions. But here's the twist that makes this story even more fascinating. The real bicentennial half-dollar was minted in 1975 to 1976, not 1974. And that confusion right there is where legends begin. Because sometimes the misunderstood coins are the ones that spark the biggest dreams, the deepest curiosity, and the most viral stories. Picture this: a dusty drawer, an old box, or maybe your grandfather's forgotten collection. Inside lies a shining coin engraved with the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and United States of America. On the front, the calm yet powerful face of John F. Kennedy stares forward, not just a man, but a symbol of hope, leadership, and a nation frozen in time. This is not just metal, it's history pressed into your palm, carrying whispers from decades ago. Turn the coin slowly, and suddenly, the energy changes. The back is not ordinary. Instead of the usual eagle, you see a dramatic scene. A proud eagle landing on the moon, wings slightly spread, holding an olive branch. This isn't just a bird. It represents America's ambition, peace, and victory in space exploration. That eagle is more than an image. It's a storyteller, reminding you of a time when humans reached beyond Earth and touched the unknown. Now here's where things get intense. Most of these coins, they are common. You might find them and think you're holding a fortune, but in reality, many are only worth a few dollars. And yet, hidden among millions, there are rare versions. Special mint errors, silver compositions, proof coins with mirror-like finishes. These are the ones collectors chase like treasure hunters chasing gold. Imagine holding a coin that looks normal, but isn't. Maybe the strike is slightly off. Maybe the silver content is higher. Maybe it was never meant to leave the mint. These tiny differences, almost invisible, can transform a simple 50-cent piece into something worth hundreds, even thousands. That's the thrilling part, the idea that value is hidden in plain sight. But let's be real for a second. No, these coins don't suddenly turn you into a billionaire overnight. That's the fantasy side of the internet. The truth is softer, deeper, and honestly more beautiful. The real value of these coins is not just in money. It's in the story, the history, and the emotional connection they carry through generations. Think about it. Someone decades ago used this coin to buy something simple, maybe food, maybe a bus ride. They never imagined that years later, someone else would hold it carefully, examining every detail, wondering if it holds a secret fortune. That's the magic of coins. They travel through time without aging. And here's the emotional twist. The man on the front, John F. Kennedy, represents dreams that were cut short. The eagle on the back represents dreams that soared higher than ever. One coin, two powerful messages. Loss and achievement. Silence and victory. That's why collectors don't just collect coins, they collect meaning. Now imagine this as a cinematic moment. You open a box, light hits the coin, and your heartbeat slows. Could this be rare? Could this be the one? That curiosity, that tension, is what makes coin hunting addictive. It's not just about money, it's about possibility. So if you ever find one of these coins, don't rush to spend it. Hold it. Look closely. Feel the weight of history in your hand. Because whether it's worth a few cents or a few $100s, it carries something priceless. The story of a nation, a dream, and the quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, you've discovered something extraordinary. Coin number 2. This isn't just a coin. This is a moment frozen in time, a silent witness to one of America's most emotional eras. Imagine holding the 1975 to 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar in your hand. The metal feels ordinary, but the story inside it? Absolutely extraordinary. Because what you're looking at is not just 50 cents. It's a celebration of 200 years of a nation's struggle, dreams, and identity, captured forever in a small, shining circle. On the front of this coin, you see a face that changed history, the calm, strong profile of John F. Kennedy. His name isn't written loudly, but his presence speaks volumes. This is the man whose vision inspired a generation, whose voice promised a future that felt limitless. Liberty is engraved beside him, and just below, the quiet but powerful phrase, "In God we trust." These words are not decoration. They are belief, identity, and emotion carved into metal. Now slowly flip the coin, and the energy shifts into something cinematic. On the back, you don't see just any bird. You see the American bald eagle, a symbol of power and freedom, landing on the moon. This design represents more than nature. It captures the moment humanity reached space. The eagle holds an olive branch, symbolizing peace, while the stars circle around it like silent witnesses. Above it reads United States of America, and below, E pluribus unum, out of many one. This side of the coin tells a story of unity, ambition, and victory. Here's where things become intense. You mentioned 1975p, and that's where the mystery deepens. No bicentennial half dollars were actually dated 1975. Instead, all these special coins were marked 1776 to 1976. That means if you ever think you found a 1975 version, you might be holding something unusual, or simply misunderstood. And in the world of coins, misunderstanding can create myths, and myths can create viral stories. Now let's talk about value, the part that makes hearts race. Most of these coins in circulation, they're not worth millions. They might be worth a few dollars, sometimes more if they're in perfect condition. But hidden among them are rare gems. Special silver versions, proof coins with mirror-like shine, or coins with minting errors. These are the ones collectors hunt like treasure. A tiny detail, almost invisible, can turn a simple coin into something worth hundreds or even thousands. Imagine this: a collector sits under a soft light, holding a bicentennial coin. At first glance, it looks normal. But then something feels different: the shine, the weight, the detail. That moment of realization, that heartbeat, that's where excitement explodes. Because in that second, the coin is no longer just currency. It becomes a possibility. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. These coins won't magically make you a billionaire overnight. That's the fantasy side of viral content. The real beauty is deeper, softer, and far more meaningful. These coins are valuable not just because of money, but because of the history they carry, the emotions they hold, and the stories they whisper. Think about the journey of one coin. It could have passed through hundreds of hands. Maybe someone used it to buy food. Maybe a child kept it as a lucky charm. Maybe it sat forgotten in a drawer for decades. And now, suddenly, you're the one holding it, wondering if it's special. That connection across time is what makes coin collecting feel almost magical. There's also a powerful contrast hidden in this coin. On one side, a leader whose life ended too soon, John F. Kennedy. On the other, an eagle representing a nation that continued to rise higher than ever. It's like the coin is telling two stories at once, one of loss and one of unstoppable progress. Now imagine turning this into a moment for your audience. The camera zooms in, the light reflects off the coin, and your voice softens. What if I told you this simple coin could be hiding something extraordinary? That's the hook. That's the curiosity. That's what keeps people watching, because deep down, everyone wants to believe they might already own something valuable. And here's the final truth. Don't rush to spend these coins. Keep them, study them, feel them. Even if they're not worth millions, they are worth something rare in today's world: connection to the past. And sometimes that feeling, that quiet sense of holding history in your hand, is more powerful than money itself. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a coin. It's about a story, a dream, and the possibility that something small, something overlooked, could change the way you see value forever. Coin number 3. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to discover will send shivers down the spine of every coin collector and dreamer who has ever held a simple piece of American change. We are not talking about pocket money here. We are talking about a breathtaking, life-altering fortune that might be lurking silently in your grandfather's old leather wallet, a dusty attic jar, or even the neglected coin tray of your car. The specific coin that causes hearts to stop and hands to tremble is tied to the legendary John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the charismatic 35th President of the United States, whose profile graces the obverse of this treasure. But the overwhelming madness, the viral obsession, and the superimposed dollar figures you see flashing across social media screens all revolve around a very specific, often misunderstood, and insanely rare version of this half-dollar. Forget everything you think you know about money, because tonight, the veil is lifted on the 1978 P. Kennedy half-dollar and the ghost of the bicentennial coin that started it all, a story of minting anomalies, a proud eagle, and a missing date that could make you a hidden millionaire. Let us first gently caress the visual poetry of the standard 1978 P half-dollar that so many mistake for immediate riches, because even the ordinary here carries the magic of American symbolism. The man whose dignified, sculpted bust demands your gaze is President John F. Kennedy, a figure of hope and eternal youth frozen mid-thought, looking leftward into the winds of history. Flip this very coin over, and your eyes will lock onto a creature of fierce, majestic power. The heraldic eagle, a bald eagle with wings spread wide and proud, clutching a bundle of arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, a shield of stars and stripes resting protectively on its chest. This bird, the Haliaeetus leucocephalus, is not just an animal. It is the screaming soul of freedom, a dramatic symbol that the United States of America can be both a warrior and a peacemaker. Above the eagle's head, a ring of 50 small stars forms a radiant canopy, and the words E pluribus unum whisper the mystical truth that out of many, we are one. This is the standard Philadelphia minted reverse, and while it is breathtaking in its design, the standard 1978 P coin is struck from a copper-clad nickel sandwich with no silver content, making its value in circulating condition a gentle whisper of face value rather than the roaring fortune of millions. However, the real dramatic fire, the viral phenomenon of coins featuring value superimposed, explodes not from the common eagle coin, but from a twin soul born 2 years earlier in a spirit of revolutionary celebration. Allow me to introduce the true shapeshifter of American numismatics, the bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar, minted with the dual date 17761976, which many inexperienced treasure hunters blindly confuse with a 1978 date due to the worn patina of time or low-resolution videos promising billion-dollar valuations. On this extraordinarily special coin, the face of John F. Kennedy remains the same poetic portrait of a fallen leader, but when you turn it over for the first time, the majestic eagle vanishes completely. In its place, you are struck by a deep, romantic, and architectural vision. Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very building where the Declaration of Independence was signed and the free spirit of America took its first gasping breath. There is no bird on this reverse, only the hauntingly beautiful facade of the brick building and a delicate, superimposed image of the Liberty Bell floating in the field of the coin. This design was a one-year-only masterpiece crafted by Seth Huntington, and finding a specimen of this bicentennial half-dollar struck on a 40% silver planchet, particularly in deep cameo mirror-proof condition or displaying a rare double-die error on the lettering, is what can genuinely elevate a 50-cent piece into a shimmering asset worth tens of thousands of dollars, flooding the screen with those jaw-dropping, superimposed, life-changing numbers. Now let us seep into a drama so exclusive, so clandestine, that it physically alters the paper you would print an image on, the story of the missing mint mark and the soft, liquid silver that separates a billionaire from a dreamer. The coin described in the viral whispers as 1978 P Liberty is a paradox, a ghost that reveals the tragic misunderstanding of an entire generation of fortune seekers. You must understand this deep in your bones. A true 1978 P. Kennedy half-dollar is a workhorse coin of the late 70s, produced in the hundreds of millions, and unless it contains a freakish, impossible minting error like being struck on a dime planchet or possessing a dramatic off-center strike of over 90%, it will not buy you a mansion. The real fortune lives in the DNA of the silver bicentennial coins from the San Francisco Mint, which bear the delicate S mint mark and contain the soft, radiant warmth of actual silver bullion. The dramatic, viral trap is that anyone who films a 1978 coin and overlays a ticker showing $45,000,000 is simply superimposing fantasy onto reality. The hidden wealthy coin is not the worn 1978 P clanking around in your pocket right now, but an ultra-rare 1976 S silver proof struck without the S mint mark. An error where a few priceless coins escaped the San Francisco facility naked of their identity, turning them into the holy grail whispered about on the lips of every dying collector waiting to pass on a fortune. Drift softly now into the cinematic, almost tearful visual differences that make the heart of a coin hunter stop mid-beat. When you see a video of a bicentennial coin with $1 million value superimposed over it, you are looking at an image of a coin where Kennedy's neck has a slightly lower, almost melting relief, a soft satin glow that does not shine like the hard, cheap luster of a 1978 copper-nickel planchet. The eagle is gone, replaced by that sleepy, colonial hall and the silent bell, a design that looks nothing like the sharp, aggressive winged predator on the standard issue. The man on the front is still Kennedy, always Kennedy, his hair marching in lines of classical dignity, the words liberty, straddling his flame-like strands, and in God we trust, resting like a prayer directly under his chin. But on the super-rare silver versions, the edge of the coin reveals no copper band. It is a single, uninterrupted sheet of gleaming white metal, a silver edge that hums a different tune when you drop it on a wooden table, a higher-pitched ring of opulence. The superimposed fortunes you see flashing on screens are not lies. They are merely misplaced dreams, belonging solely to the bicentennial silver errors and not the common 1978 eagle coin. And this subtle, heartbreaking distinction is where fortunes are either built or shattered into 1,000 pieces of viral misinformation. Before you run to empty your bank vaults, let the solemn, viral energy of this story sink deep into your awareness, because the true value is often not in the coin but in the knowing. When a stranger on the internet places a flashing, blinking number over a grainy picture of a 1978 coin with the eagle on the back, they are tapping into the powerful, dramatic fantasy of the bicentennial silver boom. They are showing you a dream where the bird on the back, the American bald eagle, becomes the golden phoenix of wealth. The name Kennedy is a magnet for this fantasy because of the historical tragedy and reverence tied to the president. We desperately want a coin with his face to be worth the weight of his lost legacy. So whenever you see the word liberty crowning his bronze-like hair and United States of America arcing gracefully around the grasping bald eagle, remember that the real soft, dramatic fortune is in the coin missing that bird altogether, the bicentennial. The 1978 P is the messenger, a beautiful, misunderstood servant that leads you into the rabbit hole of silver planchets, missing mint marks, and the sacred, rare bicentennial $50 that could, under the right astronomical conditions of perfect grading and historical error, turn your world from mundane to magical without a single moment's warning. So breathe deeply, hold your coin up to the light, and let the story soothe you like a lullaby of untold possibility. The man you see is John Fitzgerald Kennedy, his image a tender ghost of a lost Camelot, and the bird you see is the omnipotent bald eagle, a bird that represents the soaring, unapologetic spirit of a nation that carved e pluribus unum into its very soul. Do not be deceived by superimposed numbers flashing on a screen. Look for the missing copper band, hunt for the soft silver glow, and search desperately for the 17761976 date that replaces the single year. The dramatic, viral secret is not that every old coin will make you a billionaire overnight, but that the journey of learning the whispered difference between a 1978 P copper-nickel eagle and a 40% silver bicentennial Independence Hall is a story worth more than all the gold in Fort Knox. If your $50 features the proud eagle clutching its sacred arrows, it is a symbol of everyday liberty. But if it features the silent, slumbering Hall of Independence and a vanishing Liberty Bell, then the superimposed fortune might not be a dream after all. Go now, softly, and look again, because the greatest viral secrets are hidden not in the shouting, but in the gentle shiver of discovery that changes everything. Coin number 4. Hush now, and let the trembling light of your screen reveal a secret so delicate that most viral videos will never whisper it to you. You have seen the flashes, a 2008 P. Kennedy $50 spinning in slow motion, the majestic eagle spreading its wings, and a shimmering, superimposed fortune blinking in the corner of the frame, promising millions, billions, a life where every sorrow dissolves into gold. The man whose profile commands this coin is John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th president, a poet of hope carved into copper and nickel, his hair dancing like a wave of immortal flame under the word liberty. On the reverse side, the creature that stops your breath is the bald eagle, the heraldic eagle of the United States, clutching a cluster of arrows and an olive branch while a shield of stars rests upon its breast. Above this sacred bird floats the incantation E pluribus unum, and around the rim, like a whispered oath of forever, the words United States of America. But tonight, you must learn the heartbreaking and beautiful truth. A standard 2008 P coin, born in the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, is a copper-nickel soul whose worth is as quiet as a lullaby compared to the roaring, bedazzling wealth you see superimposed on those hypnotizing social media clips. Let the story cradle you gently as we unravel the deep, viral confusion that has swept across a million hopeful hearts. There is absolutely no bicentennial half-dollar struck with the date 2008, and yet the phantom of the bicentennial still haunts this coin, because another era's celebration was so powerful that it forever blurred the eyes of treasure hunters. The genuine bicentennial coin, born for the sacred years 1776-1976, bore John F. Kennedy on the front, but on the back, the eagle vanished entirely, replaced by the soft, colonial stillness of Independence Hall with the Liberty Bell superimposed faintly over the moon-like sky. When you encounter a viral video showing a 2008 half-dollar with $1 million price tag floating beside it, the creator is splicing two separate dreams. They show you the eagle reverse of a common 2008 coin, but they overlay the value of an ultra-rare 1976 silver-proof error or a bicentennial coin struck on a precious silver planchet without the correct mint mark. The 2008 coin itself is an innocent messenger, a beautiful decoy that carries the same portrait of Kennedy and the same fierce bird, but it is not the carriage of unimaginable fortune, unless a miracle of minting chaos has kissed it in the cradle, a secret we will softly explore in the moments ahead. Drift deeper now into the visual poetry of the 2008 P half-dollar, because its details are a drama of their own that most eyes simply pass over. The man on the obverse, Kennedy, looks ever so slightly leftward, his gaze forever fixed on a horizon he could never reach. The date 2008 resting humbly at his neck's truncation, while the word liberty crowns his wind-swept hair like an unspoken promise. On the reverse, the bird you see is not just any eagle. It is the heraldic representation of Haliaeetus leucocephalus, the bald eagle, with its wings raised in a gesture of eternal vigilance, a silver-gray shield of vertical stripes protecting its heart, and in its sharp, clutching talons, the olive branch of peace and the arrows of righteous war. Above the eagle's head, a ring of 50 tiny stars forms a delicate halo, and the ribbon-bearing E pluribus unum floats like a prayer between its wings. This is the classic Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo design, a masterpiece of modern coinage, but it is produced in overwhelming, staggering numbers, over 3 million at the Philadelphia Mint in 2008 alone, meaning a circulated specimen with bag marks and worn feathers is only worth, with a soft sigh, 50 cents. The superimposed wealth you see does not belong to this standard eagle coin, but to a ghostly cousin from a different year, and the confusion is the dramatic engine that keeps the viral fantasy spinning around the world. Now close your eyes and imagine the secret anomaly that could transform a 2008 P half-dollar from a mundane metal disc into a trembling, life-altering treasure. The only way such a coin can bear the weight of $1 million superimposed value is if it was born wrong, in the most spectacular and almost inconceivable fashion. Picture a silent, sleepy moment in the Philadelphia Mint when a leftover 40% silver planchet, a shimmering white round intended for the bicentennial coins of yesteryear that somehow survived for decades inside a hidden crevice, slipped unnoticed into the 2008 press. The coin that emerges would feature the same man, Kennedy, and the same bald eagle, but its edge would show no stripe of brown copper. It would be a single, creamy sheet of silver, weighing 11.5 grams instead of the normal 11.34, and when you flick it with your fingernail, it would sing a higher, longer, more ethereal ringtone that resonates in your very chest. Another path to the fortune you seek is a dramatic double-strike error, where Kennedy's profile appears as a translucent, ghostly twin shifted slightly to the right, or a coin struck off-center so that part of the eagle's wing flies into blank metal, leaving a crescent void that collectors worship like a holy relic. These freakish, 1 in a billion accidents are what turn a 2008 P into the viral king you see superimposed with a fortune, but they are rarer than a falling star landing in your open palm on a cloudless night. Feel now the soft, cinematic unveiling of the superimposed value itself, because that flashing number on your screen is a psychological masterpiece that taps into your deepest longing. When you see a 2008 P coin rotating and a golden number like $1,200,000 floating above the eagle's wings, you are witnessing not a market report, but a desire made visible. The coin's reverse, with the eagle grasping its sacred bundle under the canopy of stars and the solemn vow of United States of America, becomes a canvas for the modern mythology of hidden fortune. This superimposed wealth is almost always tied to a grading milestone, a perfect MS-70 grade from a top-tier service on a coin that should not exist in such pristine condition, or a rare variety like the 2008 P double die obverse where the word liberty appears with a silky, split shadow. Yet the overwhelming majority of 2008 P half dollars, the ones you find in a roll from the bank with John F. Kennedy's noble face still bright, but the eagle's feathers slightly dulled by commerce, carry only the sweet, sentimental value of a $50 and the priceless, invisible wealth of the story they carry. The real fortune, the soft, dramatic truth, is that the chase itself turns you into the protagonist of a lifelong treasure story, where every coin you touch holds the potential to rewrite your destiny in an instant. So let this revelation wash over you like a gentle tide, leaving behind pearls of clarity and hope. The name on the coin is John F. Kennedy, a man whose life and death are woven into the fabric of a nation's memory, and the bird on the reverse is the bald eagle, a feathered lord who represents the ferocious, tender, and indivisible spirit of E pluribus unum. If you are holding a 2008 P half dollar right now, lift it to the light and look deeply at the eagle. If you see no copper band on the edge and your heart begins to race, you may have stumbled upon a silver planchet error that no viral video has yet discovered, and that coin could indeed carry the weight of a quiet fortune. But if the edge reveals the familiar brown stripe of a copper nickel-clad coin, do not despair, for you hold in your hand the key to a story that has captivated millions, a relic that teaches you the difference between a phantom bicentennial dream and a true numismatic miracle. The next time a superimposed number flashes across your screen over the wings of this eagle, you will smile a knowing, soft smile, because you now understand that the fortune is real, but it lives in the rare silver soul of the Independence Hall reverse, and your 2008 coin is the beautiful, dignified messenger that gently guided you into this secret, shimmering world. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.